A lot of people were upset with the way Luke Skywalker went out at the end of The Last Jedi. And it sounds like Mark Hamill might have been a little bit upset at that too. In a recent interview with IGN, he revealed what George Lucas originally had planned for Luke Skywalker. And it entails teaching his sister to be a Jedi and surviving until at least episode 9. So I gotta tell you, Mark Hamill's been talking a lot about things post-release of Last Jedi, and it sounds like he doesn't agree with things. He had his own take on the character, and it's a little. I'm starting to get a little worried about Mark Hamill. I love him as a voiceover actor. I love him as look. There'll always be a soft spot in my heart for him as Luke Skywalker. But he goes on to say in this recent interview, I happen to know that George didn't kill Luke until the end of episode 9, after he trained Leia, which is another thread that was never played upon in The Last Jedi.
So the story behind all this is before the Disney acquisition of Lucas, there was a treatment that went around.
Right.
And then after this acquisition by Disney, Kathleen Kennedy was just kind of looking around and going like, well, nice job, we'll take it from here.
Right.
And I understand that if it's your character that is the one that is sacrificed, I don't know if he is as explicitly like disgruntled as it may seem. I think he still probably gets a check, maybe doesn't have like the same number of days of shooting as he would otherwise get. He's still gonna be a vital part of it, and he's still gonna be a Force ghost.
Yeah, I mean, come on, right? Let's be honest.
You know, Yoda's stuck around.
Right, they got Alec Guinness to come back. I mean, or at least in, before Alec Guinness actually died. But Obi-Wan comes back.
Right, people come back from the dead in this. So I don't think it's that. I understand maybe, Mark Hamill was more excited to sink his teeth into this character, especially because in episode 7, he's really just not there at all. You know, and in the original treatment that always floated around at the end of last year, there were just little elements of it that kind of broke. It was more that Mark Hamill would play or Luke Skywalker would play a more active role in the entire movie, and he ended up just being kind of like the dude at the end who's like, gotcha, I'll see you next time.
Yeah, it's every time I hear news about, oh, here's what Lucas had planned, I feel like you always have to take that with plenty of salt, because even back after when the original trilogy was still in production, he would talk about, oh, well, I actually have 9 movies planned, and this was gonna be the middle of the story all along, which I'm not totally sure that I believe. And look, he probably did have a treatment for the rest of that story, but and look, Mark, I love you, I love Mark Hamill, but based on what we saw out of the prequels, maybe let's not advocate for the story that Lucas was going to tell for this sequel trilogy. I'm not sure that would have been the best case scenario.
I still love Mark Hamill. One time he was in the studio and he said, "Hi, Brett," and that was just the best moment of my life.